Lance Hall here for Let's Discuss with Lance Hall. Happy to welcome Kitty Staunton of Novacrow. Let me get that out right. To the program today. I'm so excited, Kitty. How are you doing?
I am great, thank you. Lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. I got turned on to you guys through, I think it's Andrew at Rogue PR.
Oh, what a legend. Yes.
A little shout out to him as well.
Thanks, Andrew.
Your album Look at Me Now came out September 30th. Killer stuff. I played the whole thing. I loved it, Kitty. This has been a fantastic experience to listen to, and I'm really excited to get to talk to you about it.
Oh, thank you so much. It's great to hear that.
Let's talk a little bit about the band. Of course, you are on lead vocals and guitar. Give us a rundown of who else is in the band.
So we have Freddie on bass and backing vocals, and he did all of the recording on the album and the production work, which is why it sounds absolutely beautiful. We've got the brilliant Jonix on guitars and backing vocals, lead vocals on Frankenfine. Those beautiful baritone notes are him. And recording on the album with us was Stu Barker on drums, the absolute machine.
Yes, he was. And Jonix also did the artwork and everything, correct?
Not for this album, but for our previous releases, he has done a lot of the art.
Well, then who did the art for this one?
This was Sophie Kurz. Have a check out of her Instagram. I don't know the handle off by heart, but I think if you look on our page, we have all the links to her. Excellent. We absolutely love the album work that she's done for us. It's absolutely perfect.
Yeah. And you guys just a few nights ago had an album release party. Was it at the North Shore Troubadour? Do I have that right?
Yes, it was absolutely great. We played the full album and some extra songs. I think we were on stage for about an hour and a half. Had a fabulous crowd. It was a really, really fun night. Brought in a lot of extra enjoyment. We had a few burlesque acts mid-set, various inflatables. There was a whole audio visual hookup. So it was so much fun to get to unleash our full Novacrow-ness.
Absolutely. I mean, that was one thing I noticed in looking at some of the live videos you guys have posted on your page. You guys' show is just over the top.
Oh, hell yeah.
I was watching the Bloodstock Fest. What was that dinosaur crowd surfing? That was wild.
Yeah, we bought some dinosaurs with us, repping our t-shirts. We've taken them to a few festivals. It started off when we went to Metal Days in Slovenia. There's a big lake that you can float on giant inflatables, and Freddie had bought one of those T-Rexes as his float, and everyone just fell in love with it. And we were like, well, here's our incredible marketing tool. And yeah, they were crowd surfing for the whole set. It was wild.
That's awesome.
They are humongous.
Yeah. I was like, wow, Now, did I also see you guys got some new Gibson guitars for your launch party?
Yes, we were lucky enough to be invited down to London last weekend to play out all of their gear, and Jonix and I took some beautiful axes for the launch party, and they sound great, and it was lovely playing them.
Excellent. I want to jump into the album for a little bit. And listening, I made some notes on the songs. I kind of wanted to talk about a few of them. I made notes on all of them, but I'll try not to do all of them. Track 1, Shapes in the Sky. What a catchy chorus, and I love the great tempo changes. Any song that has tempo changes, I think the first song I remember where that really stuck out to me was when I heard Motley Crue doing Wild Side.
Oh yeah, brilliant.
I was like, holy shit. I had heard it before, but I guess that was where my musical mind had opened up. Tell us a little bit about Shapes in the Sky.
Yeah, I'm really, really happy with how this one came out. It's born from a good few unused demos, and I'm so happy with the final track because it's got that power behind it, and it's a great Novacrow sort of theme because we can relate it to sort of B movies and aliens and sci-fi and that sort of thing, whereas it's actually a metaphor for like drone warfare, so the lyrics are secretly quite serious, but I love the sort of industrial elements that we've brought in there. It's such a good like intro for playing live as well. Packs punch.
Definitely.
Yeah, great track.
And listening to this album, I wrote down To me, this was like, and this is what I got out of all the songs once I got done. This is like Marilyn Manson meets Tool meets, I don't know, maybe Concrete Blonde, you know? Um,
Yeah,
you've got some
we
amazing
have a
hits.
very eclectic music tastes. The album was written by me and Freddie, and we both love all sorts of stuff. And I think one of the great freedoms of this band is that there's just no limits. No two tracks sound the same. We're not we're not
Yeah,
trying to sound like anything in particular. So it gives us the freedom to really like experiment and unleash all sorts of mayhem.
absolutely. I mean, that's what I got by the time I got to the end of it. I'm like, what a ride, you know? Uh, track two, I mean, here we go. Hollow Armor. Definite. I love the mood. And to me, the
Yeah,
bass and the drums really stood out on this, especially the bass work on this track. But it's dark, you know, and
yeah,
subdued and stuff. Love it. Can you
yeah.
give us a little bit on that
This
one?
yeah, this one is defo been a sort of lurking around in various demo forms on my laptop for a long time. I was very precious about it, and I love the fullness of the sound that Freddie managed to bring out in the recording as well. When we recorded the video for this, both Jonix and I had just recovered from coronavirus
Mm,
about a week before, and we were exhausted, and it was like hours on hours of filming and thrashing around, and it was so tiring. So I feel like if anyone hasn't seen that video, check it out and see if you can get any sense of our comedy levels of fatigue in there.
yeah, yeah. I believe it. I coming off of when I had it, yeah, it left me exhausted for weeks
Yeah,
afterwards. Um,
terrible.
yeah, definitely. Track three, Medusa, Medusa. I have zero musical knowledge, and I can't sit down and pick, okay, that's in an E sharp, or this is that, or this is this time. What time is that song? And that's like got like a funky time, doesn't it? You know,
Yeah, it's kind of got like a bit of a swing beat to it.
yeah.
The main, this one, I'm incredibly happy with this track, and if pushed, I guess we would try and describe this as like cabaret metal or something. It's
Yeah.
um, I love all the little horns and stuff. It's just a fun bop of a track, again with like really dark lyrics to go along with the a hidden within the sort of jaunty riffs and stuff.
Yeah. I love the video as well.
Oh
Do
yeah.
you have any type of like acting experience? You like smolder on camera.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I think the real star of that video is Kitty Massacre as the brilliant Medusa in
That yes,
that.
yes.
But that I'm so glad with how that video came out. And funnily enough, that video I'd had a blood test like really soon before shooting that, so I
Oh
was
wow.
quite lightheaded. Maybe that was where the acting prowess was from. I hope I don't fall over. In fact, I did actually fall over a few times at the end. I don't think they made the edit, but yeah, that a very fun track that.
Definitely. Hush. Now here you have Joe from Oceanus on it. Nice
Yeah.
element. How did this come about?
We're friends with him, and he just seemed like the perfect shot. We'd sort of already recorded this one and used our in-house vocals for the heavy bits, and he's just got like absolutely brilliant, brutal tones, and it really added so much to the track. So big thanks to him for stepping up for the mic for those bits, because it really kicks ass.
Yeah. I'm just gonna keep going here because I'm loving
Go for
what
it.
you've got on all of this. Track five, Play My Game. My notes is here. Dark, stellar vocal, and bass were the two things I got out of this.
Oh, brilliant. This, funnily enough, so years ago, Freddie wrote like a sort of joke musical when we were on a very long journey, and he'd written a track for each of the people on the bus with us. And this, it started off as like a sort of a video game jokey song about one of Jonix's brothers. And
Oh,
I remember when we heard it, I was like, it, it's I mean, it's very different, but the sort of 8-bitty heavy drop parts were still in there, and it was like, oh, we have to do something with that because I absolutely love it. But
yeah,
I love the chance to be as villainous sounding as possible, and
sure.
this one took a lot of work, and It's very different to a lot of the album, but I think you start off quite uncertain with like, what the hell is, where are we going with this? And then when the heavy bits come in, you're like, oh, I see.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. Track 6, Not Your Mannequin. I love the way your vocals layered on this one. You do a
Yeah.
lot of vocal tracks for this song?
Yeah, there's Freddie's vocals are in there as well. Yeah, it gives it a proper meaty,
Yeah,
meaty levels of ferocious singing in this one.
yeah, definitely. Track 7, It's Alive. Again, I like the tempo, the drums, and this is a busy song to me. It sounds like there's a
Yeah.
lot going on in it, and I love like the staccato guitars in it.
Yeah,
This was an ambitious track.
definitely. I mean, it's part of the two parts Frankenstein storyline on this album, which follows with Frankenfine. I really love the chorus in this one. And that was a group of us in Freddie's kitchen as I can't remember what stupid name we gave the fake choir that we accredited that to on the album notes, but a group of friends in the kitchen yelling at full volume.
Very cool. Frankenfine, I wrote Frank and Funky. You know,
Yeah.
this has got some serious funk to it.
Yep.
I like it. I like it. How's this a new one, an old one? How'd this one come about?
This is actually also another one from Freddie's musical that got
Huh?
Novacrow treatment given to it, and this was John's song about himself,
Okay.
and the theme of how much he loves himself, which
Okay.
worked perfectly. The only line that's kept the same in this is "I'm all man," but the rest has been changed to Frankenstein.
Very cool.
I love his vocals in this so much.
Yeah, it was great. Track 9, All I See Is Her. Now, to me,
Yeah.
to my ear, and I always feel like I don't want to make myself into an idiot, but so I'm saying this is what I'm hearing. I hear almost kind of like a Police vibe on this, sort of like that Sting sort of bass work from the Police
Yeah.
on this track.
I know that the instrumentation on this one is very much Freddie's work on this, and I know that he said he had an inspiration track for this, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was, but it's that funky like samba beat that he loved.
Yeah, to me, like I said, it had either that Police or that Sting vibe to it,
Yeah.
to the whole thing. Track 10, Torn to Pieces. Now, this song rocks, but I can almost hear it as like, do I dare say a country song as well?
There's a bit of that flair in it, definitely. That main like was, I think it was a sort of clip that Freddie had saved ages ago from another one, and this was definitely our like kind of semi-token radio rock track, but then absolutely went crazy with it, and I think it just adds another sort of completely different side to the sound for the album. This one again is a really fun one to play live. I like the added cheers, get the crowd, warm them.
Definitely
Get the ball rolling.
I liked the vocal melody on the verses on this one. That was
that
was cool. Very cool. Track 11, Daybreak. I like great trade-off on the vocals. I like that.
Yeah.
Cool
nice different, again, softer. I keep calling them all the tracks different, which maybe they're all the same in that they're all different.
Yeah. Track 12, Why Are My Dreams Always Trying to Kill Me? I know here it says Helter Skelter.
Yeah.
Favorite song.
This I wrote the majority of the instrument work on this a long time ago, and I ripped all of the lyrics off because I thought this would be a really funny idea. So all of the lyrics are based off dreams that Freddie has actually had. He has the most crazy nightmares, and he tells us about them. So I kind of thought, what would be great, just a biographical piece of Freddie's nightmares.
Yeah.
And in a way, I thought, this probably won't make the album, but it makes me laugh. But this is really fun to play as well. Very, very fast. Took a while to get the lyrics at a reasonable state live, because it's one of those where you write it and you've not written any like breath space.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, when you played this live at the album launch party, did you play it in order or did you kind of bounce around?
We changed the order up because we thought it would work better. That some sections were the same, but we did swap around a few because some tracks I just do vocals so I can run around and act like a fool without the guitar. So we wanted to like mix up those sort of tracks and
Yeah.
spread them out. But
And like you say, you've got to be able to pace yourself as well, trying to do all
yeah,
that and then sing.
yeah. I was surprised that I was thinking in advance, like, am I going to last the whole set with the whole album and a few extra songs? But my voice was absolutely fine by the end. I think I'd been consciously trying to build up that resilience because, you know, even though we've had a few shows this year compared to pre-lockdown, it's a pittance of gigs compared to what we used to. So I've been really trying to build that vocal resilience back up, and clearly that had paid off, thankfully. So I wasn't by the end.
Yeah, I mean, definitely because like, a guitarist can practice his chops, a bass player can practice, a drummer can practice drumming, but for a vocalist, you've got to be, singing and it's hard. It
Yeah,
must be hard to practice singing at like show volume, you know?
yeah. Sorry, neighbors. Yeah,
Um,
you got to though, because it's a muscle, and if you don't
right.
keep practicing it, you can't just jump straight back into the levels that you're used to, because you will hurt your voice.
Definitely, definitely. We're down to the last track, My Virtues. I love the
Yeah.
build on this. Robin Wilkinson, tell me.
Yeah. Oh, so she added some of the I think it was cello parts again. So the whole album was recorded haphazardly across lockdown. So the weird story behind the whole piece is like this was all written through like Dropbox in a way where I would drop a demo to Freddie, he'd drop a demo to me, we'd swap and come back. And when it came to the recording parts, like all of the drum parts we had to do in the like 1 week of the whole year that like enough people were allowed in a room, and like they
Right.
all got recorded. So with the guest vocals, they were all like just Freddie and them recording because legally we couldn't have more in the room, which
Yeah.
is really feels weird looking back. But I love what it adds to this track. It's such a banger.
Definitely, definitely. So you enjoy more obviously than when you record an album having everybody be together as opposed
Yeah,
to sharing files.
yeah. Before we recorded this, we were like, right, we're gonna write an album. We're gonna all get together, like loads and proper work on it, etc. And then lockdown happened, and it was like, well, no. So it's funny because I mean, this is a very, very different album than what we would have written probably. And
Mm.
it's not as bleak and miserable as I would probably expect. Maybe we were actively trying to spark a bit of joy, you know?
Yeah. I I think the whole world was at that point,
Yeah.
looking for
So
something.
it was really fun getting to do the whole shebang live um,
Yeah.
this weekend, because it was the first time playing some of these tracks live, and it was great actually like doing them and
Was
sharing
there
them
was it
properly.
was there any track that was a little bit harder than you thought to pull off?
I think my virtues, simply for the fact that like, I know that John Oates was dreading he has to swap from acoustic to electric in a very small fragment of time to come in with the guitar solo, but he did nail that live.
Very cool. Now, the band was formed late 2013. You've been doing music journalism since you're about 15 and gigging since you were 16.
Yep, put the hours in. I absolutely love it.
Now, were you one of these people in school? I take it, you write up a majority of the songs. Were you like a journal keeper in school, or somebody always writing down notes? Were you a good English student? How did that come about?
Yeah, 100%. I ended up doing an English degree. I love reading. I love writing, and that was a big. That's why I kind of learned to play guitar. I've learned guitar as a tool to write music rather than to be a guitarist, which I still very much am now. It's it's just it is a tool. I do not claim to be the greatest guitarist in the world, because that's not what I'm here for.
You
I
pull
want
it
to
off
write.
pretty well with some of the stuff you play, though.
Yeah.
Um,
Still have to do it.
the
And I thoroughly enjoy doing it.
other thing I found interesting that I read about you is you said you write most of the songs in your head before you even press record on anything.
Yeah, I think less so with this album, because this was all me and Freddie, but the sort of record, like the EPs before this, yeah, a lot of it, I feel like a good sticky riff and vocal melody is one that I'll just be walking around, and if it comes to me, if I remember it later, it's a good riff. But I do have an embarrassing amount of like voice notes on my phone of just like the wind blasting and me like very quietly like to like getting an idea for when I get back. But yeah. So like, for example, Fight the Hordes, the chorus, in fact most of that song was just I just was thinking about it. I don't know, it sounds really weird when I say it like that.
Which do you enjoy more, the whole creative process of coming up with a song and recording it and getting it down, or are you more into getting it out and playing it live to the masses once it's done?
Oh, definitely both, for different reasons. I mean, particularly post lockdown, I love being able to perform again, because we have such a genuine laugh and great time getting on stage and doing it live. But I love losing myself in writing music, and I'm already excited to get cracking on thinking of new ideas and putting, I say pen to paper, but slight pen to paper, mainly finger to laptop.
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work though, but then again, there's the old saying, if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. But I think people
Hell yeah.
underestimate the amount of work that goes into the
Oh
creative
yeah.
process.
Nowadays you have to be all of the jobs as well, in a way. You've got to be social media influencers, you've got to be like merch. If you're not, you've got to pay someone to do your merch, or you're designing them yourselves. Like the last two t-shirt designs of ones that I did, because we were like, shit, we need to stick to the budget. But you should everyone should buy those shirts, by the way, they're awesome. But yeah, you end up doing about 1 million different jobs in one, and it feels like a fraction of it is the playing the music part, in a way.
I mean, just keeping up with all the social media stuff is a full-time job in itself, because you've constantly got to be creating, putting out new stuff, updating, or else 10 minutes later somebody else is taking your place.
Yeah, I think we're embracing we don't mind making a fool of ourselves and being our authentic goofy selves as our social media approach. I think faking it would be very difficult for us, so we're authentically derpily us.
Well, that's the other thing. I looked at a few of you guys' promo videos and stuff that you did. It looks like you guys are just having a blast,
Yeah.
Definitely. I also love the pic of you and Chloe from Scarlet Riot that you had up on your page. I've talked to her a couple times. She's a wonderful girl.
Absolutely lovely. Lots of hair dye tips traded between us.
And you've done some shows together with them, correct?
Yes. And we saw them at Bloodstock this year, and they got moved up to the main stage, which was a nice treat for them, and they absolutely kicked ass.
Nice. I want to talk to you about another gig I read about. There's a brief thing in an interview. Something about you guys playing a biker club in like the middle of November and then camping out afterwards in a tent.
Oh my God, yeah, that was a good while ago. Yeah, we played. There was an option of camping, which we were like, yeah, fuck it, we don't have to drive back. And it was freezing, and John and I hadn't even bought like warm clothes because we were so focused on everything. You know what I mean? Like, it's the last thing you think of, really. Of just like, okay, we need all this stuff for the gig, blah blah blah. So we had to borrow a duvet from the owners of the club, and all 4 band members slept on an airbed, just cramped in for warm. But that was a really fun show. That was the historic moment where Freddie saw the biggest slug on Earth, but it turns out it was 2 slugs. So that's his favorite moment of his life.
True Spinal Tap moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So going forward now, the album came out in September. You've done your launch party. Is there any more videos coming? What's coming up next for you and Novacrow?
Yeah, we need to we're gonna get some more videos sorted. We're gonna keep pushing the shit out of the album. We're gonna book lots of shows, be able to spread our wings again after all of the coronavirus bullshit. So hopefully a lot more live shows. We'll get back to writing and should have lots of beautiful content for everyone to enjoy as soon as.
Cool. You mentioned merch, t-shirts and stuff,
Yeah.
CDs. You're releasing this all independently, correct?
Yep, we are. And
So where do we direct people to go?
At www.novacrowofficial.com, the website we do ourselves as well. All fresh Novacrow love there.
You guys
we have great merch, perfect for Christmas presents. Get some for your nan. She wants one. She asked.
It is the most wonderful time of the year,
Exactly. To buy from Novacrow.
Let me look. I have some silly questions I wanted to ask you, but let me see if I've missed anything in my notes here, which I don't.
Sure.
I was looking as I was going down through. Let me ask you this. Okay, here's one thing I wanted to talk to you about. You were talking about social media. A while back, you guys did a 24-hour stream. You were up like 24 hours.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't necessarily Novacrow, but two of us were taking part in that. That was raising money for a charity called Special Effects, which they modify like video game controllers for people who with disabilities. They're a really lovely charity, and that is not the first time that John and I have done a 24-hour stream. I think that must be not fourth or fifth, but it's brutal and raised quite a lot of money, which is great. But it's a good laugh. I love that moment, when you just get hysterically tired and everything becomes the funniest thing you've ever heard.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, before I ask you my silly questions, is there anything that I didn't ask you, anything you didn't get to talk about during the course of this interview? The floor is yours.
Oh, I don't think so. I think that covers it. I mean, lovely to talk about the album because we're really happy with it, and I think there's a lot of fun tidbits in there.
yeah, I love getting some of the stories with the songs and everything, and like I said, it's an original sounding album. You can definitely hear the influences, but you guys have made it your own as well, so
thanks very much.
Let's see, let's get into some silly questions. I'm hoping these are questions you've never even been asked before.
That's what I like to hear.
What is the last music you've listened to other than your own?
The last music I listened to was about a minute before this interview, and that was the new single from Crosses. I mean, that's spelt with literal crosses, so I don't know how to say that correct. But so nice new release there from Deftones singer, and that's the last
very nice. Favorite toy growing up as a child?
I had a koala bear that an auntie gave me from Australia called Jumpy, and it plays Waltz Matilda if you squeeze its paw, and it still works, which is bizarre. And it lasts for ages. It's like obnoxiously long.
Very cool. What clothing style that is currently out of fashion would you love to see come back?
Oh my God. I mean, when like men in crop tops and hilariously short shorts are so funny.
Ooh.
And that should come back. Like I think one of the Friday the 13th films, that's so funny. I mean, I'm not saying that that's a good style choice. I'm just saying it is a choice.
Yes.
Apart from that, I think it is already coming back, but like platforms and flares are always incredible.
Yeah, definitely. Now I see on your YouTube page you do a lot of cover songs, but we'll try and ask you something like this. If you go to a karaoke bar, what's your go-to karaoke song?
Either Holding Out for a Hero, aka Shrek 2 vibes, or Take on Me. There's so many. I thoroughly enjoy karaoke.
Very cool. Give us a memory of something that decorated your teenage bedroom.
Oh my God. I had a humongous photo wall. I had just Nightmare Before Christmas, Edward Scissorhands, various band posters everywhere. It was one of those, heavily heavily decorated walls.
Cool. If you could go back in time and eat one of your mom's home cooked meals from your childhood, what would you have her prepare?
Oh, see, I now can't eat gluten or milk because of
Okay.
allergies. So I
Mm.
would go for like the most gluten-tastic meal ever. I don't know, like an entire baguette.
Okay. uh, what television show would you like to see a song off the new album placed in?
Literally every TV show. I mean, tactically, like Stranger Things, because my God, I feel like you make some money off that. We just finished watching that Wednesday series. That was awesome. I think Novacrow would fit in that very well.
I've heard that's really good. I've got to watch that. I've definitely
Yeah,
got
it
to
was
watch
fun. I liked it. The music was great in it as well.
Cool. What is something outside of music that you're good at? Are you like a good gardener or like a good mechanic or,
I'm so good at dance mat.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I wish there was more practical uses unless you're in an arcade, there is limited amounts. If I could
That
take dance mat to the streets, then the world would bow to me.
oh, yeah, definitely. And that is a talent. Let's see. Have you ever prank called anyone?
Yeah, lots of times in the past. I mean, not a prank call, but 2 drummers now, we have signed them up to various religious texts getting sent to their houses on repeated subscriptions, and they can't cancel it because it's in our name. So we like a good prank.
Oh, very cool. All right, I got 2 more for you. Here's the first one. Do you believe in ghosts?
No, but I hope that me saying that means that I will be haunted later today by a ghost.
It could very well happen, Kitty.
I
Okay.
hope so.
Last one, and this is the one we have the most fun with. If they were to make
Okay.
a biopic of your life, what actress would you pick to play you? And it's your movie, your life. You can pick anybody.
Oh, that's easy. Danny DeVito would be
Okay.
Danny DeVito in a purple wig, rocking out. I want to see that.
I did
Call
not
me
see
Danny.
that. I did not see that one coming.
I
Well,
don't know.
Kitty,
I think he's an obvious choice.
yeah. Okay. Oh, wow. I like it. Original, very good. Just like the music, just like the album, just like everything. Um, uh, and again, we want to direct everybody, novacrowofficial.com
Yeah, that's
is
the one.
the place to go to get your merch, get your CDs. Do you have a vinyl? Is there vinyl?
Oh, we looked into it for the pre-orders, but we were like, oh Lord, we need maybe a separate maybe we'll do a separate campaign for vinyl because I would love that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, get that album cover out, and everything else. So
Yeah.
excellent. We've been chatting with Kitty Staunton of Novacrow. Their new album, Look at Me Now, is out now, and go to novacrowofficial.com to order that along with all your other merch just in time for Christmas. And Kitty, this has been a hoot. I wish you much luck and success in the future. May all your travels be safe and your shows be sold out.
Oh, thanks so much. It's been a pleasure. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and all listeners have a wonderful rest of the day too.
Thank you. And you enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.